Okay.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Patterson.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Say. All right, Mr. Patterson, on the screen today we have obviously me, and then we have Officer Carrizales, Cynthia Trevino, who's the prosecutor, and you. We've got two of the court personnel also on the line, but they're not going to be participating. They're just listening to help monitor the proceedings.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Mr. Patterson, you were charged with the offense of speeding 54 and a 40. You previously pled not guilty, asked for a non-jury trial. Under normal circumstances, we would do that, conduct this proceeding in person, but because of circumstances, we're having to do it virtually. And thank you for participating.
Welcome.
Let me tell you how this is going to work. Ms. Trevino will ask Officer Carrizales some questions regarding his testimony, regarding the stop. I don't know anything about the case except that we're all here. Once she finishes questioning him, you'll have the right to cross-examine him, ask him questions regarding his testimony. If you can, try not to testify at that time because you have an absolute right to remain silent. You don't have to testify at all. But if you start testifying while you're questioning or cross-examining Officer Carrizales, then Ms. Trevino may object, and in that case, I'd have to sustain the objection. Also, if I feel like you're starting to get yourself in a jam by testifying, then I'll just remind you to just direct questions to the officer. Now, you got all that?
Yes. Am I able to, I guess, state my case, or I have to proceed by asking the officer questions?
No, sir. After the officer testifies, and I'm going to presume, since he's the only one on the screen, that he is the only witness in the case. Is that correct, Ms. Trevino?
Yes, sir, it is.
So, yeah, after you and Ms. Trevino get through asking the officer all the questions you want to, then you'll be able to make a statement if you wish to do so. If you do so, then again, you are giving up your right to remain silent, and Ms. Trevino can ask you questions regarding your testimony.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Patterson, you have the right to have the complaint read in open court, as open as we are with this virtual proceeding. Do you wish for the prosecutor to read the complaint, or do you want to waive that and proceed to evidence?
We can proceed to evidence.
All right, I'll make a note in the file. We're waiving the reading of the complaint. Mr. Trevino, call Officer Carrizales to testify.
Yes, sir. The state calls Officer Adam Carrizales for his testimony in this case. Your Honor, may I proceed?
Let me swear him in. Officer Carrizales, raise your right hand, please. I'm swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay, and how are you employed, sir?
I am full-time officer for City of Live Oak.
And are you a certified peace officer?
I am certified peace officer.
Mr. Trevino, you may proceed.
Yes, sir. Officer Carrizales, if you will, please advise the court of your training with speeding violations and with the operation of radar.
I am certified in conducting traffic stops as well as every other equipment within the patrol unit. I'm certified in using the Stalker Dual radar system, which is what we use here in Live Oak.
Okay. And on December 27th of 2019, a little bit after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, were you on duty that afternoon?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you encounter an individual by the name of Kendrick Dwayne Patterson?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you identify him for the judge, please?
I can't use his point.
Just do it this way. Is he on the screen?
Yes, is he on the screen?
He's on the screen. I don't know which one he is on y'all screen, but on mine, he's the third to the right.
Okay.
Thank you. And where did you encounter the defendant at?
It was on Tupperwine Road.
Okay. And that location that you encountered him on Tupperwine Road, was that in about the 12800 block of Tupperwine Road?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is that location a public street?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And is that within the city limits of the city of Live Oak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you encountered the defendant, was he driving and operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Do you have any recollection of the vehicle that he was driving?
I know it was a silver, I want to say Hyundai or Kia.
Okay.
Four-door sedan.
Thank you. And that particular vehicle, given your description of it, that was not any type of emergency type of vehicle, say a police car, an ambulance, or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And what is the speed limit at that location?
In that area, it is a 40-mile-an-hour zone.
Okay. Are there signs posted along that area of the street?
Yes.
Okay. Would the defendant have had to have passed any of those signs along Tupperwine Road?
In that particular area, yes, there's one.
Okay. And what first brought your attention to the defendant?
It was the only vehicle that was moving at a higher rate of speed than the rest of the traffic in that area.
Okay. And when you noticed that, did you make a visual estimation of the speed?
I assumed it was going faster than 40.
Okay. And when you made that that determination there, were you moving or stationary?
I was moving
Okay.
towards the vehicle.
Were you in a marked patrol vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Officer, after you made your visual estimation of his speed, did you take any actions to confirm the speed?
Yes, ma'am. I activate my front radar, and I was able to confirm the speed that he was indeed traveling faster than 40.
Okay. And you indicated earlier that that you used radar for this particular stop. Is this the standard type of radar used by the Live Oak Police Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was that radar functioning properly and accurately?
Yes, ma'am. It gets tested prior to every shift.
Okay. And did you go through that process to test it before you came on shift?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. And when you used the radar, what was the speed of the vehicle?
I was able to lock in the speed on the radar at 54.
Okay. Was there anything, as you were traveling using your radar, was there anything that would have blocked or interfered with the operation of your radar?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, after you made your confirmation using the radar, did you lose sight of the defendant?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So now you've got your radar reading. You've confirmed in your mind that the defendant is speeding, 54 in a 40. What actions did you then take?
I proceeded to get behind the vehicle. Due to the location that we were currently in at the time, I did not activate my emergency lights to conduct a traffic stop right then and there. We were in a traffic area at a traffic light. I waited for us to proceed through the intersections. And once we cleared through the intersections, I was then able to activate my traffic lights and conducted the traffic stop. And then from there, I proceeded to go about my normal traffic investigation, my introduction, and so forth.
And when you conducted your traffic investigation, did the defendant at any time identify that they were attending some sort of medical emergency?
No, ma'am. I believe I asked him if there was any emergency, and then I asked him where he was currently heading to, and I believe he said he was heading home from work.
Officer Gadisalis, were you able to make a recording of the incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what type of device did you use to record?
It's the standard issue WatchGuard dash cams that all the units have here in Live Oak.
Okay. And in preparation for your testimony today, did you have an opportunity to view that video?
Yes.
Okay. And that video, when was it made?
I do not know. Are you asking when it was recorded or?
Right, the original recording,
The
when
original
the,
recording was on the date of December the 27th, I believe.
and when you watched the video in preparation for today, did it fairly and accurately represent the incident as you recall it?
Yes, ma'am.
To your knowledge, has the video been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state does have video evidence that it would like to enter in as State's Exhibit number 1 and publish to those here on the video screen.
Do you have any objection, Mr. Patterson?
No, no, Your Honor.
Okay, it'll be admitted.
All right, y'all bear with me. I'm going to do a share screen, so it's going to take me just a moment. Okay, to the court clerks, y'all have disabled my ability to share the screen. Can we get that removed, please?
Will do. Give us a minute. We are trying to do the share screen.
Because we're hitting the share screen to share it.
Right, I'm going to share it from my end
Okay.
because I've got it loaded up
But
here.
we haven't touched it. That's what I'm saying. So, okay, we're working on it.
When we did our trial run this morning, Your Honor, the host had not disabled the share screen, so it worked very well.
Oh, we just need to get it working now so we can all see it. I know you're working on it, so.
Your Honor, can I please excuse myself? I want like to obtain a piece of information I wanted to use.
Yes, sir, you may be excused.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if you will, excuse me for just one moment, I'm going to move to Plan B, which is I will move the recorder and the video over to the clerk's screen so that they can continue on with the share video.
Okay, whatever y'all need to do, but don't crank anything up until Mr. Patterson's able to rejoin us.
Yes, sir.
I'm back.
Okay, Mr. Patterson. They're still working on getting it, the video, so we can see it. Okay.
Okay, Judge, I think we've got it up and going. We've reset the court's navigational abilities on Zoom.
All right. Let's Vicky, I think you've got somebody in the waiting room. Can you remove that icon at the bottom of the screen? Maybe I can do it. Mr. Trevino, is there sound?
Yes, Madam Court Clerk, can you check the sound on your computer system to see if you've got it up and going? Judge, I'm going to step away from my screen and go assist the court clerks with getting the sound going.
Okay, well. Is the interaction between Mr. Patterson and the officer of any particular significance? Well, she's gone.
Your Honor, in the state's opinion, there is the interaction between the officer and the defendant is, again, from the state's opinion, is an admission regarding the speeding offense.
Okay, well, we got to get the sound going.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like I said, you can verify these because
Can they hear you?
sometimes they won't hear you, or they'll put in whatever they think they hear.
Yeah, because I was muted, Nancy.
Either
Speak for me. I unmuted. Okay, so you're unmuted? And then I
So,
down there. Okay, and I'm gonna check over here.
1-826-13-1826-1328 Patterson. Check out locals. So, what I just did was I asked dispatch to check all locals, so they'll check UC,
Okay. And
Church, Selma, they'll check
go
everything
ahead
for.
and stop it, rewind it. Okay. So my stop. Yeah, bring it back to the beginning. And then, there we go.
Madam Court Clerk, if you would, can you start us from the beginning of the video, please?
Okay.
I'll be on a traffic stop with that 28. I'm gonna be in the Great Value Inn parking lot off of 35. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Hello, sir. Hey, I'm Officer Scotty Sal, Los Police. Hey, where's that stop manager going 54 back there on top of Wine? All right, it is a 40-mile-an-hour zone. You got your driver's license on you? What was that? Where are you headed to? Edinburgh. Come from work? Where do you work at? Oh, okay. And you still live here in UC? Yeah, okay. Alright, you can have that back? Just hang tight for me real quick, so let me go verify this information, okay? I'll be right back with you. Able to hear me? Yeah, still faint. It's still pretty quiet, but sorry. Okay. So, as you can see, this will alert you to when a person stolen license plate, things like that. But you do have to verify it. So we ran. So here it is. I just verified it's the right vehicle. First two and phone plate. 4552. Well, the registration is expired. But it says May 2014. That's there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, just usually verify things because dispatch will do that crap too. Sometimes they won't hear you, or they'll put in whatever they think they hear. Okay, so July 2020, 06 Kia, Jane Kimberly Patterson is probably someone who's related to Patterson. As you can see. So, 615 text deal. 1826132818261328 Patterson. Check out locals. So you put in this data will ask dispatch to check all locals, so they'll check UC, Shirts, Selma, they'll check everything for warrants. Okay. And as you can see, this is one person. So this is NCIC, TCIC. NCIC is, of course, the national government. these are all wanted people with similar names or similar date of birth or driver license numbers. That's kind of why you have to verify all this information. Kendrick. So there's no Kendrick. So for the most part, it's clear with US. So check TCIC, which is Texas database. Not one. Texas. Clearly says no one. For the most part, everything came back clear. I gotta figure out why it's stolen. That is him. I'll show you here in a second. This is kind of how I figured it out. I still didn't get his number, but it's okay. I mean, I knew I was going to get it to you anyways. But kind of just for speeding. What I'll do is I'm gonna take it over there with him, and I'll get the number, and I'll fill it out right there by him. But I'm always checking when I go over there, make sure there's nothing there, make sure everything's, there's no weapons, things like that. I didn't see anything, I didn't smell anything. For the most part, he's going home, works at Wells Fargo. Just trying to get home. Now, the way we do these here is we gotta print out 2 copies. I'm gonna take it, one for him and one for us. I'll go here and explain everything to him. If you want, you can come with me on this one and just hang back by the back of the vehicle. Where do you stay here? Just come behind me, but wait by the trunk of the vehicle. Okay, Mr. Patterson, I'm going to give you the citation for the speeding, sir, okay? I do need a good phone number for you. Okay? Okay? 77? 650, I'll get one up later. Okay, what I'm going to need is a good signature right here, sir. By signing this, not admission to guilt, it's just saying that you promised to appear for a court here in Live Oak, okay? You're going to have court on February the 4th. I will give you all the court information on your copy. I just need your signature. Can I take care of this? Yes. But you will have to contact our court still and let them know that's what you plan on doing. Okay? Just in case they still need you to show up to court. I don't want you to not show up to court and then you get a warrant. Okay? So on here, this is your copy. You're gonna have the phone number at the bottom and the hours of the operation when you sign, okay? And if you want to know the fine, the amount, you gotta go to the website. It's at the bottom. Do you have any questions? Okay. So there's your driver's license, sir. You're free to go, okay? Section 10, I'll be clear with a citation. I'll be around that water call.
Madam Court Clerk, we can pause that video.
Yeah, obviously.
Okay.
I do like to let.
Officer Salas, is there any additional information that you think that the judge needs to be made aware of regarding this incident?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, the state does pass the witness.
And Mr. Patterson, if you have some questions you'd like to ask the officer, you may do so at this time.
No questions for the officer.
All right. Mr. Trevino, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Officer Karasalis, you may be excused, but remain on standby.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Trevino, do you rest and close?
Yes, Your Honor, the state does rest and close.
Mr. Kendrick, at this time, do you wish to make a statement?
Yes, I do.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Could you raise your right hand, please? Solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
yes, I do.
Okay, now you may proceed.
Okay. Well, a few things. First off, the path I took on Topper Wine on that evening did not have any visible signs that displayed the speed limit. When I was going to my destination on Topper Wine, I was driving 35 going north and exited Topper Wine and made a left. And I drove about a half a mile to a street called Judd Topper that was on the left. And I was going into a subdivision, went and got something from my mother-in-law and left within a minute. And then I was heading the path to Judd Topper again and made the right onto Topper Wine heading east in preparation to get back on 35 going north. And again, I drove the path several times after getting the ticket, and it displayed a 40-mile-per-hour speed limit sign well beyond the street that I was on. So I didn't know, I did not see any signs. Second of all, I'd like to add that the location of the violation on my ticket is 12800 Topper Wine. And as you can see on the video, the closest thing to that vicinity is a gastroenterology consultants of San Antonio, and that location is 12850 Topper Wine. And according to the video, I was at a complete stop behind several cars at the traffic light. So if I was speeding at that location, I was at a complete stop, as you can see on the video. And lastly, I would like to add that according to the Texas Transportation Code, section 545.351, letter C states, an operator shall, consistent with subsections A and B, subletter B, drive at an appropriately reduced speed if the operator is approaching and crossing an intersection or railroad grade crossing. And at which case in point I was, because I was approaching that traffic light that I was stopped at, which is an intersection.
And what section did you just quote, Mr. Patterson?
I quoted the Texas Transportation Code section 545.351.
All right, I just reviewed that particular code provision. What else do you have, sir?
Those are my 3 points. Just that there were no visible signs within the path that I took. The signs were visible well beyond the path I took in either direction. And the location, if I was clocked speeding, it definitely wasn't at 12800 Topperwine. The address is increased going west. So if I was in fact speeding, which I'm not sure I was, but if he radared me, it was more in the direction of say 1300 Topperwine going, as I mentioned, they increased going west. And I was only driving about a half a mile from when I made the right onto Topperwine from Judd Topper. And so if I was speeding, the location, which is on the ticket of 12800 Topperwine, is inaccurate. And just lastly, I did reduce my speed. But basically, according to that Texas Transportation Code, I reduced my speed actually to a complete stop at that location as I was approaching the intersection.
Mr. Trevino, do you have any questions of Mr. Patterson?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Patterson, you indicated that traveling westbound closer in the vicinity of about the 1300 block is where you noted that there are posted speed limit signs.
Yes.
Okay. And the allegation is not that you were doing 54 at the time that you approached the speed limit, or excuse me, the stoplight. The allegation is that you were speeding in around the 12800 block of Topperwine Road, which is in close proximity, or just by numbering would be in close proximity to 1300 Topperwine Road. Do you understand that that's what the officer is alleging, is that the violation occurred prior to your decelerating and reaching the stoplight?
Well, on a ticket, doesn't the location have to be accurate, meaning that it would not be 12800 Topperwine, it would be wherever he was when he allegedly radared me.
Right, the location is the general vicinity, because as y'all are moving, it's kind of hard for the officer to pinpoint the specific location. However, in this particular event, as you drive to as you reduce speed to get to the stop sign, and then stop because there are several vehicles stopped in front of you, that is not what the state is alleging where that violation occurred. The state is alleging that the violation occurred when you were still in the 40-mile-per-hour zone. How often do you travel that roadway, sir?
Not often at all. I hadn't driven that stretch of road in probably over 12 months.
Okay, and were you just going out of your way, as you indicated, to get to your mother-in-law's house?
Yes, I was asked to stop by there on my way from work by my wife to get something from my mother-in-law. I very seldom go to my mother-in-law's house.
Have you ever known a city street to have a city street, not a highway or a traveling roadway 35 or something like that, to have a posted speed of in excess of 50 miles an hour?
Yes, I have seen some. I have seen some generally in the vicinity of off the top of my head, I've driven 78 going Shirts heading into Cibolo, and it gets up into that area as well.
That's
so I have seen.
Road.
What was that?
78 is a farm to market road. It's not a city street. No additional questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have anything further, Mr. Patterson?
No, I don't.
Okay. Any rebuttal, Ms. Trevino?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We should call Officer Karasalis back in. You wish to call Officer Karasalis again?
Yes, sir. I'm looking for him to appear on the screen here. I thought I saw him muted.
He is in the waiting room.
Okay. Madam Court Clerk, can you move Officer Cardisalis back into the courtroom, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm waiting for him to go back to the office.
There he is. Officer Karasalis, you need to, there you go. Unmute.
Officer Cardisalis, I have a couple of rebuttal questions for you and for the court.
Yes, ma'am.
In the video, we see that you get turned around on the defendant and then make your way towards the a stoplight.
Mhm.
The alleged violation, does it occur as y'all are driving to the stop sign or to the stoplight?
Yes, I am driving away from the stoplight, and Mr. Patterson is driving towards the traffic light.
Okay. And in the video, we see that basically there's like a small hill there. Is the violation to have occurred before him actually decelerating and slowing down to get to the stoplight?
Yes, it happens prior to that hill.
Okay. And then you come in behind Officer Cardisalis, and at that point is when you activated your lights. Can you tell the court why you waited and activated your lights at that point?
So when I observed the violation, I had to be able to safely turn around in order to get behind Mr. Patterson. And by the time I am able to turn around and catch up to him, we are already coming up to the traffic light. And the way our cameras work is they record up to the past minute. So because I waited to activate my traffic lights, I waited for us to clear through the intersection before the lights were activated, and then the camera will start recording. And through that whole time lapse, the offense and the 1 minute time period was prior to that. And it's just the safety issue. I don't want to activate traffic lights or emergency lights in the middle of a traffic intersection, and it just causes more chaos and panic for everybody else.
Fair enough. And so it is your testimony today that the violation occurred in an area that was posted for 40 miles an hour, and it did not occur at the actual traffic light itself.
Correct.
No additional rebuttal questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Patterson, do you have any other questions you want to ask the officer?
Let me think. Were you actually able to actually get a look at what buildings were in the vicinity of where you radared me? Because the reason I'm asking, because if you radar me going that fast, then the closest thing when I made a right onto Topperwine was actually the San Antonio Auto Auction, and that's located at 13510 Topperwine. So if you, it had to have been radaring me at that speed around that location. Was there a reason that you were unable to put 1300 Topperwine instead of 2800 Topperwine, at which point I was at a complete stop at 2800 versus if I was driving at an accelerated speed, it would have had to have been at 1300.
Okay, I didn't come into contact with your vehicle when you made a right turn. I did not observe your vehicle in that area. I didn't know where you were coming from, other than you were on Topperwine when I saw you. So that 13500 area, I had not seen your vehicle at that time yet.
well, when you saw me, was there anything? Was there any particular building or place of business that you could recollect that you happened to encounter or saw as you radared me?
I know there is the gastroenterology place, and I believe there is another gastro building that's being built there in that area. And that's what I'm able to reference my 12800, because I know from my experience, those are a 12800, that's a 12800 block area.
And if I may, Your Honor, and that's what I was kind of pointing out was basically he's saying that I was basically clocked or speeding at the 12800, but according to the video, I was clearly stopped at that location of 12800. And that's the argument that I'm making, that at that location of 12800 Topper Wine, which is listed on the ticket, I was at a complete stop at a traffic light. And that's all I have.
Karasalis, you care to reply to that?
Like I said earlier, there is a time lapse from when the cameras go back from when I start recording. So for the incident being prior to that 1 minute time back, to when I activated it, that's where you're gonna, I believe what Mr. Patterson's referring to is what he sees already when it's already recording back, and not what happened prior to the camera activation and what the camera captured. Because what he's saying is just moments before the camera activation, and I can't make the cameras go back 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's just the way they're programmed.
Well, I would just like to add that given the path or my travel path that I was taking, I would like to just point out that time lapse that he's referencing, given that I was only driving 1.5 miles from the time I made the right on 2 Topper Wine, I was only driving, it was about 1.5 miles exactly. I would think that time lapse is actually crucial in determining whether I'm actually guilty or not. And if that's not visible, then according to everything and all the documentation, and especially the location, it can't necessarily be proven that I was really driving that fast.
Anything else, Ms. Trevino?
2 questions for the defendant, Your Honor.
Hold on. Are you done with Officer Karasalis?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. May I ask you questions of Mr. Patterson?
Mr. Patterson, when Officer Carrizales approaches you and advises you that you are speeding, going 54 and a 40, you immediately apologize for that action.
Correct.
Okay. And then towards the end of the video, you also indicate how you can take care of your speeding offense, and you ask about, paying the fine amount.
Correct.
Okay. At no time do you protest the amount of or the alleged violation.
Correct.
No additional questions, Your Honor.
Well, if I may, Your Honor, I wasn't sure. I didn't feel at the exact moment I was in a position to argue when I wasn't sure. And I wasn't sure. All I could really have said was I don't recall seeing any traffic signs or anything like that, or I don't recall speeding at any point in time. Further, I actually drove the actual location several times thereafter just to confirm. And that's when I entered my not guilty plea at my pretrial hearing, based off of driving several times and confirming thereafter. But in that particular moment, I was not sure. So there was no reason to argue or make a case because I wasn't sure.
Okay. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
No,
Anything
Your Honor.
further, Mr. Patterson?
No, Your Honor.
One question, Mr. Pastor, what is the street you said you turned onto top line from?
Judd Topper, and it's a street that runs directly in between Topper Wine and Judson Road.
All right. I'm going to look at something and I will give you a decision later this afternoon.
Okay. How would that decision be rendered, or should I jump back on to Zoom, or will I be notified of?
You'll probably just be notified by mail. I want to look at one thing.
Okay.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for your time this morning. So you may leave the meeting. Mr. Patterson, have a good day.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, he's
Hey, Vicky?
ready for the next one.
Who do we have next?
Collins.
Is she there?
I think that's who the Kiwi is. I don't know who it is.
Okay,
anymore.
were you able to, can you figure out how to
I got it.
so that I can control that video?
Well, I undid one. I think I'm gonna have to go back and undo both, where everybody can share.
Okay,
Good, let me go do it right now. You wanna
Okay.
come and follow me? or-
okay.
And right there is a hill. You're going up that hill right there. Oh, you're on.
Okay, Ms. Collins, can you hear me? Ms. Collins?
Hello?
Ms. Collins, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Uh, You're not driving, are you?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay. Ms. Collins, you have pled not guilty on these 3 cases. All of them are for no driver's license.
Yes, sir. Well, I am gonna take the first one, but the other 2, I won't. I'm gonna plead those 2. I'm not gonna, because I feel as the officer was picking on me on the last 2 tickets.
Okay. Well, let me tell you how this is going to work, Ms. Collins. The prosecutor's going to ask the officer some questions. You have 3 alleged violations, one which allegedly occurred on March the 5th, the second one on April the 20th, and the third on April the 28th. And you, again, you have pled not guilty on all 3. In each instance, Ms. Collins, there is a complaint, which you went over before with the prosecutor, that charges you with the offense. You can either waive the reading of those 3 complaints, or you can have the prosecutor read each one. But that is up to you. You have 1 alleged violation, the one on March the 5th, alleged to have occurred in the 8100 block Pat Booker. The second one alleged to have occurred on April 20th is alleged to have occurred at 12400 block of Topper Wine. And the one on April 28th of 2020 is alleged to have occurred on the 12500 block of Topper Wine. Now, do you understand each of those, the reason you received each of those citations? You need to unmute again. Do you understand?
I'm sorry?
Do you understand each of the nature of each of those 3 alleged violations?
Yes, sir.
So here's what's going to happen, Ms. Collins. Ms. Trevino is going to ask the citing officer, who appears was the same officer each time. He's going to ask you some questions. Ask the officer some questions. You will have the right to ask the officer questions also. Try not to testify at that time, because you have the right to remain silent. And if you give up your right to remain silent and make a statement, then Ms. Trevino can ask you questions. Okay? You understand all that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, this is an experiment for all of us, doing this remotely, but that's what we have to do today. So, Ms. Trevino, well, I still didn't get an answer. Ms. Collins, do you want the prosecutor to read the 3 complaints, or do you understand what you're charged with?
I know about the driver license.
Okay. Well, I think that's what all 3 of them are. All 3. So,
She's talking to the judge.
charging you with no driver's license 3 times. So, are you waiving your right to have the complaints read in open court and just go to evidence, or you want her to read those complaints?
She can read them, please.
Okay. Mr. Trevino, do you have your copies?
Yes, sir, I do. Clause number 1100127354, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, before me, the undersigned affiant, on this day personally appeared the undersigned affiant, who, after first being by me duly sworn on oath, deposes and says that, based on information to wit, citation E 271098, issued and furnished by Gonzalez Adam, a certified peace officer of the city of Live Oak, Bear County, Texas, who witnessed the violation and has good reason to believe and accordingly alleges that Lakeisha Lonchelle Collins did on or about. In this case, Your Honor, that's going to be April 20th, April 3rd, April 28th and March 5th of 2020. And before the making and filing of the complaint in the territorial limits of the city of Live Oak, the state of Texas, the defendant did then and there operate a motor vehicle upon a highway, to wit, on March 5th in the location of 8100 block of Pat Booker Road. On April 20th, the location of 12400 block of Topawine Road. And on April 28th, the 12500 block of Tupperwine Road, therein situated without a valid driver's license as issued by the Texas Department of Public Safety.
And as to those cases, Ms. Collins, you're pleading not guilty, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Trevino, you may call your witness.
Yes, sir. The state does call Officer Adam Gonzalez.
Vicky, can you, there he is. Okay. You need to unmute. There you go. Mr. Gonzalez, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Are you a certified peace officer?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been employed by the city of Live Oak?
I would say a year and 4 months.
Okay. And state your full name for the record.
It's Adam Ezequiel Gonzalez.
Okay, Ms. Trevino, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Gonzalez, on March 5th of 2020, did you encounter an individual by the name of Lakeisha Collins?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is Ms. Collins in the courtroom or appearing on any of the video screens?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you indicate from your direction?
To my right, the far right.
Thank you. And where did you initially encounter Ms. Collins?
I first encountered her off of Pat Booker Road on a traffic stop.
Okay. And the particular location of that roadway, is that within the city limits of the city of Live Oak?
Yes.
Okay. And was the defendant driving and operating a motor vehicle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what type of vehicle was that?
It was a orange Hyundai Tiburon.
And what was the reason that you initiated a traffic stop of the defendant?
The first time, I believe it was for a headlight.
Okay. And when you noticed the defective light, what action did you take?
I proceeded to get behind the vehicle, and once we came to a well lit up area of Pat Booker and Village Oak, I conducted a traffic stop where I then made contact with Ms. Collins.
And when you made contact with Ms. Collins, did you request to see a copy of her driver's license?
I did.
Okay. Did Ms. Collins produce a driver's license to you?
No, ma'am. She produced a Texas ID.
Okay. Did you take any actions then thereafter to verify whether Ms. Collins actually had a driver's license?
Yes. Once I had her identification, I asked her if she had a driver's license. I do not remember her response at the time. I then went back to my patrol unit to verify her information to see if there was a valid license on file.
Okay. And how did you do that confirmation? Is that like through dispatch services or through your in-car computer system?
At that time, I believe I did it through dispatch. I provided the Texas identification number to see if there was a driver's license number associated with it.
And did the dispatch service confirm that there was no driver's license?
Yes.
Okay. Officer Cotty you then had contact with the same defendant on April 20th.
Correct.
Do you recall the location for that particular contact?
April 20th was on Topperwine Road, and where we actually came to a stop was in the parking lot of the hospital, the Northeast Methodist.
Okay. And is that the location where you initially noted the defendant's vehicle? Is that location on Topperwine Road within the city limits of the city of Live Oak?
Yes.
And for this particular citation, what was the reason that you initiated a traffic stop?
When I observed the same vehicle at this point in time, it had a right tail light that was out, and that's when I conducted my traffic stop.
Okay. And then when you approached the driver at that particular point in time, what actions did you take?
I took the same normal steps that I take on every traffic stop. I identify myself. I have the driver identify themselves to me by a driver's license. I did notice at that time that it was Miss Collins again, and she produced the same Texas identification from the previous stop.
And on April the 20th, after this being the second incident, at that particular point in time, was there any indication that Ms. Collins had secured a driver's license?
No, ma'am. So I had conducted the same steps, verified the information through our Live Oak dispatch, and they confirmed there was no driver's license associated with her Texas identification number.
And then on April the 28th, we have another citation issued to Ms. Collins for no driver's license. Will you please state for the court the location for this particular citation on April the 28th?
This should have been in the same area, 12400 Topperwine, or Judson Road. And it was for the same violation of no right tail light.
Okay, so at that particular point in time, you had now noted the same vehicle driving in the area, same defective equipment, and that's the reason for initiating the stop. Is that accurate?
Yes, correct.
And on this third time that you made this traffic offense, follow the same procedures?
Same procedures, only this time I was met with a little bit more hostility from Ms. Collins.
Okay. And at for this third incident, did you again confirm that Ms. Collins did not have a driver's license?
Yes, ma'am. Same steps were taken through dispatch, and no, not able to confirm any DO.
At any time, did Ms. Collins give you any indicator of that there was any reasoning or legal reasoning why she did not have a driver's license?
There was no legal reasons. I believe she just stated that she was in the process of obtaining one.
I did tell you.
Okay. Officer Cotty-Salas, is there any other information that you feel that the judge needs to be made aware of?
No,
That
ma'am.
is a lie, dude.
No additional questions at this time, Your Honor. The state does pass the witness.
Ms. Collins, at this time, if you wish to ask the officer any questions regarding his testimony, you may do so. You have anything you want to ask him regarding what he said?
Yeah, because I want to know why he lying about that. I didn't tell him about why I don't have my license and why I told him that I was on my way to get him, but then the pandemic hit. I told him all of that.
Okay. Well, is that a question of the officer? Is that a question you're asking the officer?
yes, sir, I am asking him. Didn't I tell him that my license was suspended and I was on my way to get my license because I left from New Orleans, and then I also the pandemic had hit, and then you have to make an appointment.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. I'm not sure there was a question in there.
Well, I think she did ask him, does he recall her telling him that? And on which stop?
On all of them.
Okay, on all of them, okay. Officer Carol Silas, do you recall her making a statement to you to that effect?
No, sir, and I don't believe I asked as well if there was any other driver's license out of another state.
Actually, yeah, because I do have a witness because my mom was there when I asked you that, when I told you that.
Okay, Ms. Collins, just ask questions, and if you have a witness, then you can call that witness here in a little bit, and that witness can testify for you. But at this point in time, he's saying that he doesn't recall you telling him that, nor does he remember asking you about your driver's license, or asking you.
Your Honor, he did ask me about my driver license and why I didn't have them, and I told him I just paid my tickets off because they were suspended. Your Honor, I did let him know about that.
Okay.
And I also let him know that I was getting my driver license, but you also have to make an appointment at that time.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have any
So
other do you have any other questions you want to ask the officer?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Do you have any other questions you want to ask the officer at this time?
No, sir.
Ms. Trevino, do you have any other questions you want to ask the officer?
No, sir, not at this time.
Hey, Officer Karasalis, you may step down. You can stay on if you want to, since you're the state's witness, or you can excuse yourself. It's up to your schedule. Okay. Ms. Collins, at this time, do you wish to make a statement?
Your Honor, I just want to say that
Well, hold on, Ms. Collins. Are you going to make a statement?
About my license?
Or do you want to make any statement in these proceedings? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was going to say that,
Hey, hold on, Ms. Collins. I got to swear you in. Raise your right hand, please.
oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can tell me what you want to tell me.
Okay. Your Honor, on those tickets, okay, the first one, like I was telling you, okay, yeah, I was getting off of work coming home. And on top of that one, I was already close by my house, across the street from my job. He stopped me right there in front of the Dairy Queen where I stay at. My brother was riding by, and he let my brother take my car to the house. Cause my brother had a license and not me. But I also let the officer know why I didn't have my license at that time. Okay, and then on the second one, I just got off of work too, and he pulled me over. And when he pulled me over, he really didn't tell me why he pulled me over. He got out his car and said, "Miss Collins, didn't I tell you that you can't drive without no driver license?" He didn't say it was because of a brake light or whatever light. He just got out of his vehicle, and it seemed like he knew who was driving already, and was like, "Miss Collins, I told you you're not supposed to drive without no driver license." And then on the third one, he's saying that I was aggressive on the third one. No, Your Honor. He was more of the aggressive one on the third one, because when he stopped us over there, the one that he was saying that it was on top of one, the one over there where the pharmacy is at, because we was parked right there where the pharmacy and the Subway was, is that he was the aggressive one, because he detained my husband for whatever reason, because my husband wanted to walk home, and he was trying to tell him that he could not walk home. And it was supposed to have been about just about that one thing, but he went over. And so he's trying to say that we was the aggressive one when he was the aggressive one.
Okay. Do you have anything further you want me to know?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. Trevino, do you have any questions of Ms. Collins?
Couple of quick questions, Your Honor. Ms. Collins, do you have a driver's license?
Yes. But
If the court ran it right now, would it show that you have a driver's license?
You're muted, Ms. Collins.
sorry, someone keep on my phone. Hello?
Ms. Collins?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you. They keep calling my phone.
Okay. Okay, the question I asked you was, do you have a driver's license?
I do have a driver license. It's with DPS. And when they were trying to find it, when I went to go
When was
talk
that
to,
driver's license issued, ma'am?
I'm sorry,
When was the driver's license issued?
I think I was like 17 or 18 when I was issued a driver's license, and I was needed to get it up to date
Okay,
because I left Texas. I had left Texas and I went to New Orleans.
have you taken the actions to get your driver's license up to date, to get it valid?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I go in December because you have to make an appointment to do your driver's license.
Right. But right now, you don't actually have a driver's license, is that correct? A valid driver's license.
Yeah, not right now, I don't.
All right. And you didn't have a driver's license, a valid driver's license at the time of these stops, did you?
No, I did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Collins, do you have anything else you want to tell me?
All I'm trying to do is just try to get my driver's license, like I said, but I get it in December, and you have to make an appointment because of the pandemic is going on. And that I kept telling the officer the same thing, that I have to go to my appointment to get my driver's license. And I have an appointment, and it's for December 11th. And you want to remember when I was in the court and y'all were trying to find it when I was in the courtroom? And I kept telling you that it was for Austin, Texas, and you all had to spell my name in different ways, like LE and LA, and try to find it. I don't know how to find it, how to find my driver's license in the system.
Well, from what you're telling me, Ms. Collins, apparently it's not in the system because if it was that long ago, then you're going to have to go through all of the testing to get a driver's license. So the fact that you had one when you were 17 or 18, that really doesn't help you very much. Ms. Trevino, do you have any other questions for Ms.
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins? Is there anything else you want me to know?
Your Honor, can I put my witness?
Sure.
You want to ask you some questions?
Wants to ask me some questions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Well,
Oh, the DA. The DA. She want to ask the DA. I'm sorry. She want to ask the DA some questions. I'm sorry.
well, no, the DA is not a witness in the case. She's prosecuting the case.
No.
So if you want to call your own witness and have them testify on your behalf, you can do that.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm saying, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, who is your witness?
My mom.
And where's your mom?
Juanita Campbell O'Cray.
And where's your mom?
Right here beside me.
Okay. Can you put her on the camera?
Yes, sir.
I hope you can see me. I'm standing out in the sun. So
Yes, ma'am, I can. And tell me your name again.
my name is Juanita Kimball Akre.
Last name, spell it, please.
KIMBLE hyphen AKRAY.
That's Juanita.
Yes. JUANITA.
Right. Okay, Miss Kimball
You can say Akre.
Akre.
Yes,
Raise your
sir.
right hand, please.
Hold on, sir.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay. Ms. Collins, you want to ask your mom any questions?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to ask her, what happened that night when I got stopped?
Okay. Which night, Ms.
All
Collins?
of them.
All
All of them.
All of them, because she was there on all of the nights.
Okay.
Okay. I get a phone call to say, to come there because they need someone to drive her car. And the first one, like she said, was just right across the street. I mean, right across the parking lot from her house. And I felt like they could have just let her drive the car on into that parking lot, but that's okay. I told my son to go, and so he did. And on that night when she said that he apprehended her husband, Craig, that and another young man that she was given a ride to, it really turned into a bad situation because the officers should have just let those other people go. They had nothing to do with the
Chair, Your Honor,
situation.
for relevance.
Well, y'all were saying who was aggressive and who wasn't aggressive.
No, ma'am, I don't believe anybody asked you who was aggressive and who wasn't.
No, I think I heard her telling you guys that the officer was the one who got aggressive. And so I am testifying to that. Yeah, she's right. And there's some other officers there that too. They kind of had to step in also. But anyway, let me tell you about the driver's license. She does have a driver's license. DPS is having a hard time locating it, and I don't understand why. So DPS has held her up from being able to get her driver's license. She obtained her driver's license because we did parent taught. I used to work for DPS. And so she has been trying to get her driver's license. And there is a driver's license, but I don't understand how come they cannot locate it. And then she does have an appointment to go and get her driver's license. So she is trying to get her driver's license. So I don't know why they cannot locate her driver's license in the system. Uh-oh. We disconnected.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Let's see to me.
Ooh,
DA.
yeah, the DA. What in the world?
Not can hit camera. Or is it you?
What is going on?
Hit participants.
It went up.
Hit your screen and you might keep up like that. Now hit participant.
Folks, I'm not I don't know who Gina is. I guess it went up. Let me see if I can go back to it. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
View.
Yeah, who's Gina? Because she's Trevino.
Yeah, I don't know who this one is.
Is it that 210 number? When they came on, what did you see?
They let me in, and I just saw the judge.
I mean, did you see a phone number, a name,
No,
or
I
nothing
didn't
like
see
that?
him.
You should.
Blue. Okay, I go Trevino.
Ms. Collins and Ms. Akre, if y'all just hold tight, we seem to have lost internet service.
Okay. Well, she's now having up to go to work. To 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was supposed to have pulled up, but I let him know I was gonna be late.
And she said, okay.
Yeah, she didn't text me back, but I did let her know I'm gonna be late because I had to go to court. I just want to stay a little bit over.
Can you use your phone in there?
Yeah, but I didn't want to do the court thing in there.
They said something about the people gonna come up into the park. You hear me?
He said what?
That they come up to the park.
Yeah, to fix the refrigerator. That's what he needs to go with.
Oh, you see, here.
What are you doing?
Are they on? Don't go in. Are they on?
She's right there. I don't want to make you late. Hey, boo, with me. My water been okay.
Hey, Ms. Collins,
Yes, sir.
I'm back. We lost connection there for a while. But I think I get the general gist of what your mom was trying to say, that the officer was aggressive, not you, and that you have a driver's license or had a driver's license, and you've been trying to get a driver's license, and she thinks this is ridiculous.
Yes, sir.
Does that pretty much sum it up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does your mom want to add anything further?
Ma, you want to say anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Ms. DA.
Okay. Ms. Trevino, do you want to ask Ms. Akre any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Do you have anything further you want to say, Ms. Collins?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses you want to call?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Ms. Collins. Well, I understand your predicament. But when you got that first citation back in March for no driver's license, that should have been a red flag to you to quit driving. I mean, I know you have to go to work, but you could have obtained an occupational driver's license through the court, but you didn't do that. You kept driving.
I didn't.
Okay, let me finish, please. And apparently you have a pretty distinctive looking orange automobile that is easily recognizable. But in each event, there was according to Officer Karasalis, there was a defective light on your vehicle, whether it was a tail light or a license plate light. I think he referenced all of them. So, and I understand the difficulty getting into DPS because I had the same problem, but I was able to get in and get my license renewed. And this has been going on since March. So you've had, even as of today, you still don't have a license. Your first step should have been that as soon as you got that first ticket back in March, that's when you should have started making arrangements to get a license and make your appointment with the DPS, because you're going to have to, I believe you're going to have to retest both the driving and the written part. I believe. I'm not positive. But on these three cases, Ms. Collins, you just kind of, even though your mom thinks it's ridiculous, and I don't care about what happened with the other gentlemen who were, I don't even know what happened with them. We didn't get to that, and we don't need to get to that. But on these three cases, Ms. Collins, I believe that you intentionally operated your vehicle without a driver's license. And, despite what your mom says that you have a license, out of an abundance of caution, I went ahead and checked your history today using your ID number, and you do not have a driver's license. Now, is it somewhere else? If you can show me that you had a license, and I'll reverse all of these convictions. But from what I'm seeing and what Officer Karasalis testified to, and even you admitted that you didn't have a driver's license. So in these three cases, there's going to be a finding of guilt, and give you some time to pay these. But and I'll make you a deal, Ms. Collins. The fine on two of the last two is $250, and the fine on the first one is $206. If you can produce a driver's license by December the, hold on a minute. If you can produce a driver's license by January the January the 5th, then I will waive the fine on the last one. That'll save you $250. Okay? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we'll send you some paperwork to get these others paid, but I'll tell you that if you get a driver's license and can show it to me by January 5th, I will forgive the fine on the last one. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That'll save you $250.
Yes, sir.
With those comments, I'll make my notes. You will get some paperwork from the court, and you and your mom can go about your business today. I know you got to get to work, but you need to find a different way to do it, whether it's your brother or your mom toting you to where you need to go. But don't be driving, Miss Collins, because if you get another ticket for this, it's just going to be more money out of your pocket.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, good luck to you. I hope you get your license. I highly encourage you to get your license so you and I don't have to meet again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You take care of yourself, Miss Collins, and thank you, Mom, for showing up and helping and testifying.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You all take care of yourself. Stay safe.
You
Yes, sir.
too.
Okay. Bye-bye. You can
Bye-bye.
log off. I'll make notes on that one too.
You gonna help, the other officer get set up, yeah, I'll be right back.
Vicky,
Yes, sir.
what time was the next one supposed to start? 11?
We had one that Curtis Sanders is here. It was supposed to be at 10:50, and the last one is at 11:30, which I think he's already logged on. And then we break for lunch.
Which one's the 10:50?
Just need a new,
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir?
Is the 10:50 the Garibaldi?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I've got that file. I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of notes in these files too.
No, he's saying the same
same
number.
one, the same one? Okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say, sir?
I'm gonna have to make a bunch of notes in these files.
Okay. Yeah, we're just trying to get Officer Sanders logged on.
Is he there in the?
Yes, he's here. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ms. Trevino,
Yes, sir.
can you move your screen down just a little bit so I can see your face? 'Cause all I'm seeing is your nose and your eyes.
Let me see if I can get this thing propped up a little bit here.
And also, is there a video that accompanies this next case on the school bus?
Yes, sir, there is, and we've got the court system disengaged so that I will be able to control the video. Or do you want to, Your Honor, do you want that on your end?
No, if there's video, I just want to make sure we can view it.
Sanders had to go outside and turn off his heat alarm for the dog.
Okay, well,
He'll be logged on in just a few minutes.
Officer Carsalis, are you a dual personality? Now you're Officer Sanders?
There we go.
There
Sorry.
we go. I understand we're waiting on Officer Sanders.
Yes, I just had to fix it for him. That way he can join.
Let's go ahead and bring in Ms. Garibaldi so that we can at least go through the preliminary things.
You want me to move Sanders into the waiting room?
Yes, he should be. Yeah,
Well, we've got him logged on. I had to rename him.
Okay.
you name him Bob or what?
I'm sorry?
We have Ms. Garibaldi.
Hi, yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Garibaldi, can you do video or do you just need to do audio?
I can see you on video.
Okay, but I can't see you.
Oh, he can't see me.
You need to open up your
Let's
video.
see. Okay. Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Alrighty. Okay.
Now I can see you.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Garibaldi, you were charged with the offense of passing a scoop, failed to stop for a school bus loading or unloading. Do you understand what the charge is?
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you how this works. First of all, you have the right to have the complaint, which is the actual document that charges you with the offense, read in open court. We are being broadcast around the world. So if you want to have the complaint read in open court to enter your plea, or if you understand what the charge is, you can waive that if you desire to do so. I'm not encouraging you one way or another. It's up to you.
Okay. Let's see. Can you mention to say that one more time?
Yes, ma'am. The complaint is the formal document that charges you with the offense. It's generated from the information that was on the citation. When you were here before on December the 3rd, I asked you if you had any challenges to the complaint, and at that time you said no, because you understood what the charges were, what the officer was saying you had done. But if you want to have that read in open court, read today virtually, the prosecutor can read it and you can enter a formal not guilty plea. It's just up to you. Or you
Yes,
can wait.
well, when I originally went to see you in court, I didn't agree with the ticket, and then I ended up speaking with a lawyer and requested a video and saw the video, and then I had another court date set, and
Right.
then all this stuff happened with COVID.
Yeah, and you know, I know this happened a while back.
Mhm.
The officer is present in the virtual courtroom. And so are you still pleading not guilty and wanting to go
Yes.
forward with your trial? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, do you want the prosecutor to read the complaint, or do you understand what you're charged with?
I understand what I'm charged
I know you don't agree with it, or you wouldn't be here,
with. Okay.
but you understand. Okay. So are you waiving the reading of the complaint?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Here's what's going to happen, Ms. Garibaldi. Ms. Trevino, who's the prosecutor, who you probably met with before, is going to ask the citing officer, I believe it's Officer Sanders, questions. You will have the right to cross-examine the officer regarding his testimony. Try not to testify at that time because you have an absolute right to remain silent. It's up to the prosecutor to prove the case against you if she's able to do so. At the conclusion of her evidence, then you will have the right to make a statement. But if you do make a statement, you will have, Ms. Trevino will have the right to ask you questions regarding your testimony.
Okay.
Got all that?
Yes.
Okay, and it's pretty low key here. I mean, there are some rules we have to follow, but I'll try to extend you all the courtesies I can to make sure you get a fair and impartial hearing. All right?
Okay.
So, Ms. Trevino, do you want to call your officer?
Yes, sir. This state does call Officer Curtis Sanders.
Ms. Court Administrator, can you allow him in? Good morning, Officer Sanders.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Officer Sanders, raise your right hand, please. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and state your full name, please.
Curtis Sanders.
And Officer Sanders, how long have you been employed as a peace officer?
Peace officer for 12 years.
And for the city of Live Oak, how long?
6 years.
And you are a certified peace officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Trevino, you may proceed with your questioning.
Right. Officer Sanders, were you on duty the morning of October 22nd of 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and on that morning, what were your duties? What were you working on?
Just routine patrol.
Did you encounter an individual by the name of Gina Renee Garibaldi?
Yes.
Okay. Is Miss Garibaldi here in the virtual courtroom? Do you spot her on the screen?
Yes.
Can you identify her by a piece of clothing, please?
Pink scrubs.
Thank you. And where did you encounter Miss Garibaldi at?
About the 13,900 or 14,000 block of Tupperwine.
Okay, and is that location within the city limits of the city of Live Oak?
Yes.
Okay, and that particular roadway, Tupperwine Road, is it a divided roadway? Is it a separated roadway?
It's unprotected.
Okay. Is there any physical barrier that separates the lanes?
No.
On that roadway, is the only thing that separates the lanes an actual turning lane? For instance, there's that center turning lane that allows people to turn left or right. When you encountered the defendant, was the defendant driving and operating a motor vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall the type of vehicle that she was driving?
It was a white Jeep.
Okay. And at the location that you initially noted the defendant's vehicle, was there a school bus stop?
Yes.
Okay. Was that school bus, did it have activated flashing lights?
Yes.
Okay. From your vantage point, was there anything blocking the flashing lights?
No.
Okay.
Is there anything, hold it, what was the question? Anything walking?
Blocking?
Blocking. Okay.
Blocking.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
blocking the flashing lights. Did the defendant pass the bus while the lights were flashing?
Yes.
Okay. Were you able to notice, had the vehicle or the bus, had it resumed movement? In other words, was it still stopped, or did it look like it was trying to drive off?
It was stopped.
Were there any other vehicles that you could have mistaken the defendant's vehicle for?
No.
Okay. Did you ever lose sight of the defendant's vehicle once you spotted the violation?
No.
Okay. Officer Standers, were you able to view video to prepare for this particular testimony?
No.
Okay. Do you recall if there was video made of the incident?
It was recorded on my dash cam. Yes.
And Officer Standers, does the court have access and is able to download copies of video from the dash cams of stops that Live Oak Police Department makes?
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, when you provided that video over to the court clerk, was that an accurate representation of the video of the stop of the incident at that time?
Yes.
Okay. And okay. And at this time, Your Honor, the state would like to enter the dash cam video as State's Exhibit number 1 and display it for the video trial here.
And Ms. Garibaldi, do you have any objection to me seeing the video?
No, not at all.
Okay. Let's run it.
All right. Madam Court Clerk, if you could, you've got the screen sharing disabled again.
I bet that Reed did that when we shut down. Let me go back in there.
Thank you.
Cynthia, it shows it's able. I've got it where it can be allowed.
Okay, it's still giving me the disabled participants.
Yeah, because I've got it checked that you can share all participants.
Okay, hang on one moment. I'm going to bring the DVD player over to your screen.
Okay.
We can do the share screen. Thank you.
Alrighty.
Your Honor, if I could be excused for just a moment.
Yes.
Madam Court Clerk, whenever you're ready, if you'll hit play for us, please.
It is still loading. I did.
You there. You right there. Oh. You, stop. Pull back around over there. Go pull behind her. I'm stopping both of y'all. There's a school bus right there. Go pull behind her.
two cars stopped. One and Loma Azul. First one, Mary Lincoln North 3993. Mary Lincoln North 3993. Yeah, you passed that school bus. Both of y'all. You have your driver's license with you?
Madam Court Clerk, if you could, we can pause the video at this particular point.
Okay.
Unless Ms. Garibaldi wants to have a continue.
Yes, because when he questions me,
Okay.
he tells me that there were, okay.
Okay, wait a minute, Ms. Garibaldi. If you wish to see the rest of it, we can go. Keep running it.
Yes.
Okay. It looks like it's frozen.
Well, let's go ahead and, yeah, because I need to see that. I need to see that scene where the school bus was again anyway.
Oh, you want me to take it back?
Yeah, I need to see that. I don't.
In this particular video clip, Your Honor, it's right as the officer is cresting the hill and we've got that downhill view.
Right. No, I see the bus down there. I just. Okay. Vicki, you can fast forward it, or who's ever controlling this can fast forward it to the place where it locked up, and we'll look at that when during Ms. Garibaldi's time to talk, or just look at it then. So do what you can to get it unblocked, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get it.
Okay. Okay.
It's like it's hung up right there.
Right. Mr. Trevino, do you want to continue questioning the officer, please?
Officer Sanders, do you recall, did the defendant give you any indication of an emergency or anything along those lines?
No.
Okay. And were there any conditions out there that you were aware of then or are now aware of that would have justified the defendant passing the vehicle while the stoplights were activated?
No.
Okay. Officer Sanders, based on your training and experience and your personal observation, do you have an opinion if the defendant violated state law?
Yes.
Okay. And did you take an official action?
Yes.
Okay. And in this particular case, was that action to issue a citation for passing the school bus?
Yes.
While the lights were activated. Officer Sanders, is there any additional information that you think that needs to be made aware of?
That's my knowledge.
No additional questions at this time, Your Honor. The state does pass the witness.
Garibaldi, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the officer?
Were you able to see the stop sign that was out when you decided to turn around? Because you were about 500 yards when you turned around to stop me.
Yes.
Do you know what the other flashing lights were that you saw?
I'm not sure what you mean, I guess.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I'm not sure what you mean.
As far as the bus, when you were looking at the bus, what lights did you see on or flashing?
The red lights.
Did you see any other lights?
No.
Okay. And that's all I have to ask. Thank you.
Ms. Trevino, do you have any other questions for this officer?
A couple of quick rebuttal questions, Your Honor. Officer Standers, the red flashing lights, are those the indicators, or what do those indicate when a school bus has red flashing lights and is stopped?
For all traffic coming and going to stop if the road is unprotected in the median.
Okay. No additional questions, Your Honor.
Do you have any other questions, Ms. Garibaldi?
I believe that's all I have. Oh, and the other question is, you do know that there's railroad tracks ahead, right by the where the bus was stopped, and that the bus also stops there.
It was a good little bit of a distance away from the tracks because it's right there at the trailer park.
Okay, yeah. That's all, really.
Nothing to obstruct a reason to not stop.
No, it was after, so you wouldn't even be able to see the railroad tracks. I don't have any other questions.
You have any other questions, Ms. Trevino?
No, Your Honor.
Officer Sanders, you're dismissed, but hang around
Yes, sir.
for rebuttal if needed. Okay.
At this time, Your Honor, the state has no additional questions for Officer Sanders. The state does close.
At this time, Ms. Garibaldi, do you wish to make a statement of any sort?
Yes, I would.
Okay, would you raise your right hand, please?
Mm-hmm.
I swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may proceed.
Okay, that particular day or any other day, I drive down Topperwine. This was before March. I would run into the bus from anywhere from 35 in Topperwine to the railroad tracks. So I see this bus every day. And that particular day, I was turning on Topperwine and Judson. I was turning onto Topperwine. The bus stop was right there on the left. It was stopped. As soon as the bus retracted the sign, the cars ahead of me were going as I was going as well. And from the video, you do not see the sign is sticking out. I don't see the sign sticking out at all. When I asked the officer if he saw any other lights flashing besides the red lights, he said no. If you look at the video, there's white lights flashing on the top, kind of like the top portion of it. Those lights constantly are flashing throughout, whether they're stopped or not. And when he did decide to stop me, he stopped me and another young lady. And when he got to me, he said, of course, you didn't stop at the stop sign, but he also told me that there were other cars ahead of me that were also going, but he could only catch me and this other girl. So if other cars are going, then not that many people are going to break the law.
Sustain the objection.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, what happened with other people, Ms. Garibaldi, is not relevant to your particular situation.
Okay.
Did you want to see the remainder of that video?
Sure.
If we can unlock it. Vicki, can you unlock the video?
I'm going to try to play it through my computer instead of on this player here.
There might be some over there. That's fine. Thank you.
Oh, I'm. I think he's over in the living room, I think.
Oh. You're off today?
No. I have to take care of this real quick.
Unfortunately, it's not real quick.
I'm sorry. It's my father-in-law.
I'm still trying to get it to load on my computer.
Somehow going forward, we got to make sure we don't have these problems. I know it's new to everybody, so.
Mhm.
Can you fast forward to the, or do you know?
not doing anything.
You there. You right there.
Stop right here. Now he's trying to catch up.
You stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that put over here. 'Cause this
Go back around over there.
I think so long as we have the audio and we know the position of the parties right now, I don't know that we need the video. At least, I presume, Ms. Garibaldi, you're more interested in things that are said than the.
Yes, sir.
Right there. Go behind her. I got two cars stopped. Truck line and Loma Azul. First one, Mary Lincoln Nora 3993. Mary Lincoln Nora 3993. Dodge. Yeah, you passed that school bus. Both of y'all. You have your driver's license with you?
right there. Duck. It is. It's like it doesn't want to move.
Why don't we bring Officer Sanders back in? And Ms. Garibaldi,
Mm-hmm.
you may testify
Okay.
as to what you heard or what the discussion was. If you wish to do so, you don't have to. Okay. 'Cause
Okay.
but you've already said you wanted to testify, so you're giving up your right to remain silent. Officer Sanders, here's what's going on. The video froze right at the point where you were approaching the two vehicles. It's being uncooperative, as technology can often be. So I'm going to let Ms. Garibaldi recount the conversation as she remembers it. And then if you dispute anything she says, you can let us know regarding your conversation.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, I just remember him stopping me. I'm not sure if I can use this or not because you said about the other people, but when he did stop me, he did tell me why he was stopping me. And he said there were several cars ahead of me, but he couldn't catch them. So he stopped me and this other girl. So in my opinion, if other cars are going ahead of me, that's because the sign was retracted. I don't think that many people are going to break the law. You know, I mean, I personally don't. I haven't gotten a ticket since I was maybe 20. I'm 47 now. I mean, to me, it's important. That's a big thing because I know I would never do something like that. And I know how it is to have children. And I've seen mainly kids or teenagers driving past bus stops, and it's horrible. And I would never do that. I have 2 kids already. I would never do that. That would take the bus.
Officer Sanders,
And my main thing.
let me just ask Officer Sanders just about the content of y'all's conversation. Do you disagree with what she said in any way?
Yes, I have made traffic stops for that passing the school bus in that same area, and sometimes, yes, 5, 6, 7 cars do end up going through. They either not sure the law on passing the school bus, or they just disregard it in general.
If you're an American citizen, you know the law.
Okay,
So
well,
I think everyone knows the law.
in essence.
And so I have pulled over people who said, well, I thought I was able to pass since there was a median, but there has to be a protective median.
All right, well, I just wanted to verify that in essence, what Ms. Garibaldi testified to regarding her conversation with you, just about other cars went through and why did she get stopped, that is the crux of what she is saying. Is that
Right.
correct, Ms. Garibaldi?
Yeah, I'm just pretty much saying that the sign was retracted. The cars ahead of me were proceeding because it retracted, and that's why I was behind these cars and going. I know the law officers usually think everyone's guilty by 6 cars going. Really, not really. People aren't going to do that. My main thing is the video. It shows where he's 500 yards from where I was at and the bus. He was right at the top of the hill where Loma Azul is at. There's no way he could have seen. And when I asked him if he saw the flashing lights, I'm sorry. Okay.
She can testify regarding her opinion of what he could or could not see. So go ahead, Ms. Garibaldi.
Okay, and I, like I said, I drive that way every day, and at the top of the hill, I've looked. There's no way you can see down there. Yes, you see flashing lights. All I see are flashing white lights, which flash constantly from 35 to Topper One. They're supposed to be on all the time, flashing those LED white lights. He said he never saw those. Those are the first thing that I see. There's no way he could have seen that sign was retracted. Unless he's Hawkeye from Avengers. That's the only way.
All the school buses I do know have the flashing white light. I just wasn't aware that's what she was looking for.
I asked you what other lights, gave you a chance to say.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Between the witnesses. Do you have anything else you want to say, Ms. Garibaldi? Because Mr. Trevino has the right to ask you some questions too.
Sure. I'm okay. I'm ready. She can ask me.
Mr. Trevino?
Ms. Carrizales, excuse me, Ms. Garibaldi, did you actually see that the vehicle or that the bus had started moving?
The sign was retracted.
Okay, no.
That's what I remember.
Did the bus move? Was the bus stopped?
The bus was stopped with the sign retracted. I don't recall if it had started moving because the other cars were going already once the sign retracted.
Okay, and the red flashing lights, did you note that they were still on?
No.
No additional questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Garibaldi, do you wish to make any other statements?
No, sir.
Okay, well, I have learned something today that I did not know, which happens often, that a school bus must be equipped with lights, but does not have to be equipped with the sign that goes out to the side. I thought both of them had to be present, but according to 547-701, the Texas Transportation Code, shall be equipped with lights, may be equipped with movable stop arms. So the requirement of the stop arms is not necessary. Then we go over to 545-066, and that reads, an operator on a highway when approaching from either direction a school bus stopped on the highway to receive or discharge a student shall stop before reaching the school bus when the bus is operating a visual signal as required by 547-701, which is what I just referenced, and may not proceed until the school bus resumes motion. The operator is signaled by the bus driver to proceed, or the visual signal is no longer activated. We've established that the bus was not moving. I believe that I could tell Ms. Garibaldi and Officer Sanders that the visual lights were still flashing at the time that you went past the school bus. The fact that other people went through, I count that as their lucky day and your unlucky day. So based on the evidence that I've heard and referencing these code sections of the Texas Transportation Code, I'm going to enter a finding of guilt, assess the minimum fine which is allowed by law, which is $44.10, and provide you with 30 days in which to pay that, Ms. Garibaldi. This is we are a court of record, so you do have the right to appeal this decision, but you may want to talk to a lawyer because there's several steps that have to be taken in order to do that. So I appreciate your argument, I really do. And I learned something today that I've been doing this 35 years and I did not know. I thought that it had to be equipped both ways, but the arms are just optional. I'm going to presume they do that for some of the poorer school districts that are not able to afford that mechanism. I don't know. But with that, Ms. Garibaldi, we will mail you or email you. Do we have your email address? We'll probably mail you a copy of the judgment and just get it paid in 30 days, or you can talk to a lawyer about appealing it. But again, tell the lawyer that we are a court of record, okay? Because that'll make a big difference to him or her if you talk to him. All right?
Alrighty, great.
Okay, Ms. Garibaldi, thank you for your patience. Sorry we had some technical problems. And I have no doubt that you're a safe driver. This is just one that might just slip by you. So take care of yourself, be safe, and you can leave the meeting now. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Sanders.
Thank you.